What's up, guys? Today we have Mr. Shawn from MangoResearch.co. There you go, the link. It's a nice page for beginners to understand how the blockchain works and to see the analysis that Shawn is doing lately. You'll see he's very enthusiastic, he is very professional too, and I hope that you like it. We're going to analyze Bitcoin, altcoins, and everything about crypto. There you go. So we are going to analyze here what is happening with the Bitcoin and in the altcoins. We are actually doing this in Spanish every week. We are making visual reports, analyzing the situation not only of Bitcoin but with other altcoins. And today we have a special invitee called Shawn. I think that most of you know of him. It's MangoResearch founder. It's a community very strong that not only takes technical analysis but actually does very interesting reports on fundamental things. I hear that he is focused now only on Bitcoin trading, technical, so we are going to mainly talk about this, but yeah, Shawn is a very interesting guy and I'm sure that we can talk about everything. Let's start by analyzing the situation of what has happened Bitcoin, because we haven't done any actual report in English. So this 2019, it's been a total surprise for everyone. We started the year after the break on the 6K. We started the year here with the all fought in the 3K, 4K. 4K was impossible to surpass for the bulls. Everyone was talking about 20,000 Bitcoin, 1,000 Bitcoin. Even the most influencers were talking about this situation. Bitcoin was going to full retrace from the last bubble, but it happened totally the opposite as always. Bitcoin surprised everyone after staying here for January, February and March. Suddenly surpassed the 4K level, and after that it was a full bull. I thought that it would stop here in the 5K, 6K would have been the normal thing, but Bitcoin doesn't do any normal thing at all, and 6K was surpassed without any problem, and then directly to 10K. Then the FOMO came to it also arrived at 14 or so. And now we are retracing for this huge move that in my opinion has been tremendous, because it's been a move without very much sound. People from the streets, retailers are not actually buying this, still not. So it's been a good move, because when things go up and nobody says anything, it's good thing. It's good. It's a thing that it still has some gains to do, and this time will not be different. Anyway, in the short term, it's not looking that good. We come from, if we look at the weekly chart, we come from a very strong rise in a short period of time, and this is the levels I'm looking for. I don't use technical analysis very much, but I try to use chart patterns and experience of years and years and years looking at the chart, and in my opinion this is the strong buy zone that we are going to look. It's the 8K to 8.5K that I think is going to, for me the 10K is already broken, and if that week resists, the next week is going to be broken, and that is the level to look at. August, it's not usually it's not a good month for Bitcoin, and generally summer is not a good month. So if you put together all the variables, all these patterns of here that indicate this, okay, it's done for now. I think we are heading through here to the 8.85, and I will put the buy orders here in the Bitcoin. If we look at the monthly candle, it's the same. It's a top candle, and it's a short-term top candle, and should be like 2-3 months for here. And I think that we are going to finish the year touching this again, the 11, 12, 12,000. And so to start the 2020 like a beast, halving is in I think it's July 2020. I think that by halving will be, if not in all-time high, will be very, very, very near to all-time high to then start making the parabolic gains again. That's what I think about the Bitcoin. And about the altcoins, it's been a total disaster from the point of view of altcoins versus BTC. The market dominance is going full Bitcoin again. And if we look at the main altcoins like Ethereum, Ripple, all charts look the same. It's a phenomenon that is happening a lot. Like all big altcoins, and big and small, are doing the same pattern, are very correlated. And the pattern is dump, 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 and keep dumping. No, what can we expect of that? I think that altcoins, the big ones, are already not bottoming, but very close to the bottom. And my opinion is that because if we look at, let's look at the market dominance chart. Okay, Bitcoin. We're going to look that with Shawn then. So if you look at that chart, let's see. Loading. Nope. It's not loading now. Damn. Well, that's a shame. That's a shame because it's a very interesting chart that and helps us to decide, as they are all so correlated, helps us to decide whether it's time to start buying a basket of altcoins or not. Because for the volumes, for the liquidity, for the risk, it's better to diversify at least in 3-4 altcoins. Even they do the same, but from the risk perspective, it's better. Let's see. Come on, man. Come on. Yeah, here it is. We can see that here, but I want to see in candles and the full picture of this chart. Let's see if we can load that. Okay, here we are. Bitcoin market cap dominance. We started the year like this. It seemed that an alt season could come if the Bitcoin went stable or some big gains to this, but it went just the opposite. Very strong market dominance, a strong rise, no actual candles that indicate us for future reversal. For me, this is not a reversal candle. It's so small and weak for the point of we are taking. And these are the two main levels. Okay, it's 65% around this level. It should go down, but we looked at, okay, it didn't went down. So the next level, it's 72%, and I think that this will be a very, very strong level to resist. I think alts still have some bleeding through here, but as we hit this 72% figure, I think it will be time to go, if not full alts, to go like very, very strong alts. No, the next level, if that were surpassed, but I don't think it's gonna happen, but the next level would be like this, like 75, 77. But if that happened, I think it would look like this, just like a quick week of Bitcoin FOMO, super mega fat altcoins. But I don't think it's gonna happen. I think that this is the door, that it's not going to be broken. And then once we hit that, I don't think it's going to be a strong dump on dominance, but a progressive that could help a nice 2020 for altcoins. I think that it's gonna look like this, okay, and then 2020 again, boom, down as we approach the halving, just like it happened in 2017 or 16. In 2016 started with this leg. Okay, what else? Just to say you that you can already register in Bitkings platform. You can share your portfolio, you can share your articles, you can do your reports, you can do everything you want, and you will have a special promo of $10 worth BTK just for registering and sharing the portfolio. And that's it. We wanna bring transparency to this, and what a better way to bring transparency that put your entire portfolio and see which is your risk management. We still are developing the platform. We are in the very early stages, but yeah, I think it's fair. You can use that. So yeah, we are going to contact Shawn now. He's gonna come Shawn. By the way, you can look at MangoResearch.com. I think it's .com. It's a very interesting website for the noob ones, for the ones that wanted to learn about blockchain in an easy way from the start. I think it's a very good website. Well done, Shawn, and the community you are making, it's tremendous. Hi, Shawn.
It's a very interesting website.
Hey man.
What's up, man?
The ones that wanted to
can you guys see my camera?
Yes, we can see everything. I hear my echo from your. Okay,
cool. So I'll shut your YouTube off now.
So guys, this
is. Okay,
is
so I can't see you, but I guess that's fine.
Okay, it's fine. So guys, this is Shawn from MangoResearch.
Hey guys,
doing a tremendous job on educating people, and now focused on trading Bitcoin with technical analysis on everything. And today we're going to talk a bit about everything. We're going to start with Bitcoin. Shawn, can you show us your charts? What do you see?
What do I see? Well, it's definitely an interesting time, right, for Bitcoin, because a lot of people are attracted to Bitcoin right now because of its massive price rise. As you can see, we've had this huge parabolic run from around 3,000 all the way up to 14,000, drawing in everybody's interest suddenly, right?
Yep.
When they should have been interested, they weren't. Now everybody's interested. So what's going on over here, right? What's going on? We can actually, what I do want to talk about right now, we can quickly talk about the lower time frames. So we can talk about the daily. Right now, Bitcoin is really in a no man's zone. We can go ahead and turn on.
Yes.
We'll talk about this quickly.
Sorry, Shawn, can you share your screen? I cannot see it.
Oh, okay. I thought you could see my screen. There you go. Give me a second. How do you do this? Okay, yeah. Oops, that is. Apologies. Can you see my screen now?
Yep.
You should be able to see it.
Yep. We're seeing it now.
You can see my screen, right? Okay, so currently on the mid time frames, and when I'm talking about the mid time frames, I'm referring to like the daily and even the 2-day and the 3-day. Okay, that's the mid time frames for me. We are in a no trend zone. Okay, there's no trend trade to be had. Bitcoin's not going to be going up very drastically. Bitcoin's not going to be going down very drastically. As long as you're between this blue box over here to the upside and the green box towards the downside, Bitcoin's in a choppy zone. And you're probably seeing a lot of people talk about its choppiness, right?
Yep.
The reason a lot of people are interested is because of the parabolic run it did have this entire zone over here, right? Everybody was watching this happen, right? Not buying into the market, and buying into the market only over here, right at the top. Most people got into Bitcoin over here, or left their altcoins over here and then started getting it. So what's going on now? Is this the end? That is the question. So for that, I want us to look at a BLX chart, okay? And the reason I want to look at this is because we can look at the bigger picture, okay? This is when I talk about longer, bigger time frames, I'm talking about the weekly and the monthly, because that's what gives us a good idea. And so this is the big parabolic run over here that everybody just sat and watched. And now they got interested in over here, and they're sitting, a lot of people, at least I know, my friends who watched this happen, are now sitting in losses over here. So the question is this the end? For that, we'll go and look at this zone over here back in between 2015 to around 2017, before our last parabolic run, starting at 1,600 all the way up to 20,000. Okay, everybody knows about this run. It was one of the most exciting times in crypto history. So I want to draw everybody's attention to the pink trend line to the upside and the purple trend line to the bottom side. These have massive, massive implications, because you could look at this entire zone as an accumulation zone before the actual break to the upside. But these guys, besides being an accumulation zone, also mark one, market cycle highs and lows, marks the market cycle high over here, also marks the breakdown point for this breakdown over here, okay? And then even the purple line, as you can see, marks the breakdown over here before we reaccumulated after breaking up the upside, and then governed price action for this entire cycle before both these trend lines were broken over here in this zone right here.
Yeah.
Okay, so why does this have special interest? Because I want you guys to come to this zone over here where we first broke the pink line. We broke the pink line towards the bottom, had a mini capitulation, tried breaking it to the upside. We can go ahead and zoom. Tried breaking to the upside, failed. Now, this is where it gets interesting. When we finally broke it to the upside, we went sideways for a bit, tested one last time, and had a massive run, parabolic run to the upside. Okay.
Yes.
Now, again, that was the end of that cycle. When we broke it towards the downside, we had another capitulation. Okay, similar to this capitulation over here. Then we accumulate, go into a long accumulation zone, always test the top of that pink line, keep testing it, coming down to the purple line, keep testing, coming down to the purple line. We finally break it, okay, have a retest, and then have a massive run, a parabolic run to the upside, okay, around 900%.
Yep.
Now, we have now had a bear cycle where we broke both those trend lines for the first time. You could essentially, especially looking at the higher time frames, look at this entire zone as one big trap, one big accumulation, and now we are now just starting. While a lot of people think that this might be the end, and I'm sure, Frank, you agree with me on this, in both of our opinions, is likely just the beginning. So we break both these trend lines now to the upside. We've tested it a couple times already. If we come and test it one more time, which lines up with the key 8,100, 7,900 number that everybody's looking at, and bounce,
yep,
that
could perfect.
Go ahead, Frank.
Yes. Just that point.
Yeah, it lines up at around 8,100, 7,900-ish, right? If we bounce there, that could actually signal the real start of the parabolic run. So all of this would mean nothing compared to what could possibly happen. And now this, again, is where it really all gets interesting, right? If you look at the market cycle high over here, the previous market cycle high in 2014, and line it up with the 2017 market cycle high, and now, remember the run we had over here, okay? Sorry about that. We tested the pink line and then had a 920% run, 950, 920% run. If we test the pink line over here again and have another 920 to 950% run, we are actually coming and meeting this high over here in this zone over here, depending on how long we take, right? 900% aroundish.
Totally.
So that is not out of the picture. And what is that number coming up to? Around $93,000 to $100,000. So if we can actually go ahead and just use our drawing tools, test it like this, and bounce something like this, you can see that this number would come up to around 850 to, let's say 900,000. Yeah, 900,000 approximate. And that would line up with around $90,000. So Bitcoin is just
the thing is that if we get at $90,000, don't you think that we'll get to $100,000? That's the question.
Yeah, exactly. And that was actually going to be my next point. If you zoom out now, let's go ahead and let's get everything in order again. You'll see Bitcoin has never, ever resisted its previous high. No high has actually proved to be resistance for Bitcoin. You can go ahead and just look at that. We broke it very easily.
Yes.
Then again, we broke it very easily.
Yep.
And this is where it gets interesting. We broke it again very easily. Now, while Bitcoin has never held its previous highs as resistance, it's always held it as support.
Yep.
We've not come down back there again. So 20,000, in my opinion, is not going to be a resistance point. It's going to be only a point of psychological resistance where a lot of the retailers are probably going to get out at 20,000 and then again at 100,000, right? If they buy back in. But that's not going to stop us. That's just going to be another start where we have a slight pullback and then go on even upward and above. Like I said, guys, the longer we spend going sideways, this trend line is going to govern its top. If we are looking at 2021 June-ish, a number of $250,000 is very, very likely. It's not out of the picture. What people need to understand is that this is a financial revolution. This is not like any other tech boom or any other asset boom. This is something that has not been seen in centuries. Bitcoin is an innovation that is going to be marked in history. People will be studying about this for 1,000 years, and not being part of this in some way or the other is asinine, in my opinion. Asinine.
What do you think?
That's what's going on here on Bitcoin land in terms of the bigger picture.
Yeah, sorry. What do you think is the main value of Bitcoin that it's going to push that to these levels? Because 100k Bitcoin would mean, I think, a market cap of something like $1.5 trillion market cap or something like that. I think gold it's between 7 and 10 trillion market cap. So what do you think it gives that value, and what do you think that institutions or all the people are going to trust in that value?
It's the monetary innovation that Bitcoin poses to the world that has never been seen before. If you study monetary history, you'll see that we've had one reoccurring problem over and over and over again. Us as a community, as a society, having to trust these central authorities. Even when we try not to trust them, okay? We put in all these regulations and rules, we end up eventually having to trust them. What Bitcoin has allowed us to do is create an asset that allows us to protect our wealth. For the first time in history, there is no central authority that can stealth steal our wealth. If you go through history, you'll see it happen over and over and over again, dating back even to the great Roman Empire that you can akin to the great USA today, where they have inflated their currency to goddamn nothing, right? And now what we are seeing is a culmination of everything amalgamating together. One, we are seeing millennials lead this charge, and they're losing trust in governments. So an interview, a huge study was done on millennials, and the shocking results were that 92% of millennials reported that they do not trust banks. They all use banks, but they do not trust banks. As more and more millennials come into awareness that Bitcoin is the solution to a problem, that is one influencing factor. Number two, and a huge fact, is that institutions and big hedge funds are beginning to see, oh my God, this thing has gone through 3 or 4 bubbles now and it still exists. What is going on? The more they look into it, the more they see that, hey, this is actually a threat to us. And what they are doing is they are buying in with around 3% to 5% of their wealth, okay, just as a call option. They're just using it as a call option, Frank, but they're like, you know what, just in case, Bitcoin goes into crazy numbers. Exactly. And 2% of their money right now, when Bitcoin is, like you said, only 1/10 of gold's market cap, is a lot. They are all beginning to realize that unlike gold, unlike everything else that has existed on this planet, Bitcoin is the only asset that will always have a fixed supply. Nobody can steal your wealth. It will be guaranteed. Currently, the increase of the US money supply is going at around 6% per year. Bitcoin before the halving is sitting at around 3.14%, 3.38%, like that. Okay, after the halving, it's going to go to 1.17%. Frank, what do you think all these wealthy people are going to say when they look at hey, this Bitcoin money thing is increasing at a rate of only 1%, while my US currency is increasing at 6% every goddamn year? Where do you think they're going to put their wealth? Totally. We are seeing a massive flee from currencies. Everybody's running away from currencies. Why? Because we've been conditioned over the past 100 years. If you even think about it, any traditional parent would tell their kids, hey, just buy real estate. Why are they saying that? Because they don't want you to lose money keeping it in the bank, right? That is the most asinine thing that has ever happened in the history of human society, where we are forced to buy assets just to preserve our wealth. And who has done this? The governments have done this, forcing us to keep putting our money into asset after asset after asset just to protect our wealth. That is, think about that. You are forced to be a spender. You are forced to be a spender. We are going to go another part of this, another component of this revolutionary monetary revolution is the fact that we can finally start saving without being worried about losing money. Every time I have money in my bank, I'm thinking, shit, I'm losing money. Shit, I'm losing money. People hate that, man. People hate that. If you look at the amount of money that has fleeing from currencies into asset after asset, it's ridiculous. The people are staying away from currencies and they have nowhere to run anymore. Everything's in a bubble. Real estate is in a bubble. Your bonds are in trouble. Everything is in trouble. Where do you put your money? Now, the ironic thing is that it is the wealthy that are going to make Bitcoin crazy, because the wealthy have nowhere to put their money anymore. And they're going to be looking at Bitcoin and thinking, shit, we better put something in this. And all of them putting something in this just to be able to hold one Bitcoin at the very least is going to drive this nuts.
Yep.
These trend lines are just governing factors through a technical analysis.
Just 3% of total wealth.
From a fundamental point of view, and Frank, I entered this market because of fundamental. Exactly.
Okay, what I think is
so I'm sorry I went on a rant over there, but
what worries me a little, Shawn, about this is that let's imagine a Bitcoin on 100,000, something like that. The importance is that technically Bitcoin has to always be so secure. Miners have always to be there. No one can inflate the supply. It's 21 million and that's it. But I'm scared that it arrives a point where halving after halving, it's not worth for the miners to keep mining, because the block reward will be so low that even with the high price, it may not be so profitable. That's the only thing that worries me. They have thought about a fee-based model, but we don't know if that will be enough. I'm talking about year 25, 30, and that's it, but not in the short term. But in the long term, that's the only thing that concerns me about Bitcoin, nothing else really.
So right now, transaction fees don't seem to be enough for the miners, because we don't have the global. Bitcoin is currently not being used as a global currency yet. The implications of something like Bitcoin being used as a global currency would increase the value of the transaction fees far more than owning one Bitcoin per block.
Okay.
So think about it globally, everybody being part of the network. And if you think about it, right, I'm not trying to be a Bitcoin maximalist here, even though I may sound like it. More than anybody that I entered the market because of my interest in Ethereum.
Yep.
But the more you think about it, very few coins are going to exist at the end of all of this. Okay, it's going to be probably Bitcoin and maybe one more. And I think Bitcoin could have very well take 92% to 95% of this entire market cap. And we are, the reason I say that is because it's right now perfectly positioned to feed into everybody's mistrust of the government. Think about Argentina, think about Greece, think about Venezuela, think about all these major countries around the world that do not have faith in their countries. Think about every millennial who does not have faith in banks. Think about the fact that so if you think about it, the silent generation, the one before the baby boomers, they invested in gold and became really, really rich. Then the baby boomers after that and Gen X took advantage of the entire Japanese stock boom and the entire everything boom, where every stock market in the world boomed, and they got to invest in that. What do millennials have? We have digital currencies. What are most millennials bound to buy is going to be Bitcoin. It by default is going to be the entrant coin into the market, and by default people are going to have Bitcoin as their default currency, making it a global currency. The amount of fees alone that miners can extract from that, when you think about the massive scale, the amount of people in the world is crazy.
The thing is that...
So I think that would solve the problem over the long run.
Yeah, sorry. The thing is that, do you think it will be a global currency or a global reserve? Because it's quite different. The global reserve shouldn't be transactioned a lot because it's meaning it's another one. But a global currency should be, if that happened, yeah, of course the miners would get a lot of fees and that's it. But do you really think global currency it's possible? Because Bitcoin will always be volatile. I mean, it will always move in that way. Even in it's positive in the long run for a merchant or for normal people, a currency that is changing 5% a day, I don't think it's very useful for them. You understand?
Yeah. I totally see your point here. Now, when I'm talking about a monetary revolution and I'm talking about a global currency, I'm talking about implications beyond you and me, Frank, beyond our lifetime. Okay, the genie's out of the box. The kind of technology that is born here. It's not, this monetary revolution is not going to take place over 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, may take 100 years, may take even a bit longer. But to answer your question a little bit more specifically, no, I do not think Bitcoin in its current state can be a currency. It's not there yet. And people kind of, and I'm kind of guilty of not being a little bit clear on that. But what Bitcoin is kind of right now is more like the first layer of the technology. Okay, you can think of it as the central bank, okay, or as the treasury, or as the Fed Reserve, where everything stems from. Then after that, we have different layers. We have banks, we have PayPal, we have everything on top of the actual currency, right? The actual money supply. So think of the actual Bitcoin protocol as the first layer. On top of that, now there's a long time before we start developing proper solutions to make it a global currency on top of which people can extract fees. Now, one solution has been the Lightning Network, which in my opinion is not a solution, not yet. But then more and more solutions will come out as more and more attention is given to Bitcoin, the Bitcoin protocol, as more and more developers start working on this, looking at the technology through a different light. We will have solutions down the line. So yes, right now it does not have the capability to be a currency. Right now it's in a state where you can look at it as a Bitcoin's one of those very, 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 very first class ways of transferring a huge amount of wealth very securely with a low amount of fees required, right? I think the other solutions right now are stupidly expensive. So no, it's not a global currency yet, but when it does get there, and it will, or if it's not Bitcoin, it's going to be something else. But right now, Bitcoin is positioned to be the winner.
Mm-hmm. So do you think that Bitcoin is going to be, it's just the first layer of the transaction value, let's say, for the future, no? What makes you think it will be Bitcoin and not Ethereum, for example, or the ones that are coming with better features, let's say, faster, more scalable, and that? What makes you think that it will still be Bitcoin to use? Let's say to transact tokens of properties or something like that, or everything you imagine. What makes you think that Bitcoin is going to be the first layer of that kind of transactions? Because these transactions, it will also generate a ton of fees and actually a ton of utility.
Yeah. I think trust, man. It comes down to trust. And there's nothing you can really trust like Bitcoin right now. I used to be a big proponent of Ethereum, right? And then last year you saw the fiasco it had with its with it not being, with the entire Ethereum dev team and community just having this huge debate over its monetary policy. And it's true that you cannot trust a protocol or a currency when it keeps changing its monetary policy on a fly. Now, yeah, I'm being a little harsh with them over there because they're still in development, they're still waiting for Casper, blah, blah, blah. But the fact that the miners are always in flux, not wondering whether they can actually be profitable or not, the fact that even me as an investor, I'm not sure what direction they're going to take with their monetary policy, that puts everything in doubt. The thing about Bitcoin, okay, and what separates Bitcoin from Ethereum, and the best way and the simplistic way to put it is that Bitcoin is a protocol for the currency. A protocol that exists to strengthen the currency, okay? A protocol to strengthen the currency, while Ethereum is a currency to strengthen the protocol. And that's how Vitalik and team are looking at it, okay? They are looking at Ethereum as a technological revolution. And that is great. That is great. It is going to be a huge technological revolution. World Computer, for that matter, is not something to scoff upon. I'm not putting Ethereum down. I'm just saying compared to what Bitcoin is trying to do, which is a protocol strengthening the currency versus Ethereum currency trying to strengthen the protocol. Two different things, two different end goals. So what every time Bitcoin keeps existing, the people's trust in Bitcoin as a store of value is just going to keep increasing and keep increasing. Like I said, after the next halving, supply is going to supply rate increase is going to decrease to around 1.7%. After that, even lower. After that, even lower. And that is going to be the number one factor that's going to make people adopt it, right? First comes adoption, and because of adoption comes because of trust. Once everybody has it, people transact with it. That's what happened. That was how gold infiltrated everybody's life too. By the way, gold didn't start off as one king saying, hey, by the way guys, you know what, we're going to use gold to exchange goods now. No, that's not happened. It actually first started off as some people finding it on the floor, on the ground, and then being like, hey, look at this shiny metal. Then other people valuing it. Then other people saying, hey, you know what, I'm going to start collecting it. So then it became a collectible. Then after that, after a collectible, it became a collectible of exchange, right? Where people started exchanging collectibles for another collectible. And then it turned into, you know what, I'll buy this for you for that collectible that you had. That became the first exchange of a gold for something of real value, like a sack of rice or something like that. Then people actually started transacting with gold. So there was a process through which it happened. And the first things were, hey, we really like this piece of shiny metal. We trust it because it's scarce. There's not much of it around, so we trust that not a lot of people have it. Okay, so that's one huge factor that is going to be the factor with Bitcoin, because it keeps becoming more and more and more scarce. You're seeing it on the charts. The fact that all the hedge fund managers, all of this, by the way, Frank, is all institutional money coming in. If you look at all the longs and the shorts that came in, they do not reflect the volume that has pushed Bitcoin to these prices. Yes. So people are being like, shit, there's not enough Bitcoin for us to buy to protect our future interests. You're already seeing that. And that scarcity adds trust in the asset. And there has never been an asset that is more trustable than Bitcoin's supply. Even Ethereum, right? The fact that Vitalik is like, oh yeah, I'm going to decrease issuance to 0.01%. Oh, I'm going to decrease issuance to 1%. I'm going to decrease issuance to 3%. They don't know what they're doing, right? And that's one of the things with having a democratic protocol, blah blah blah. So I'm not putting them down. I'm just saying the fact Bitcoin's disadvantages are now turning it into a massive powerhouse.
Yes,
that's why I think Bitcoin is going to be the ultimate winner. I could be wrong though, right? I could be wrong. You don't know what's going to happen. Bitcoin's biggest threat is a software failure. That is my opinion. Yes. One software failure could end it all.
Yes. The thing is that I liked a lot your perspective, the difference between the main difference between Ethereum and Bitcoin. I would look at it like, let's say, gold market cap, it's like 7 trillion, and Apple, that is a business ruled by men with their decisions that can be good or bad, it's trading at 1 trillion, and it's the best business of the world. So that's the main difference, right? It's Ethereum, I'm sure it's good. I'm sure the developers are very intelligent people and clever, but still it will never have that property that Bitcoin has, that it will be considered like a store of value. That's the thing.
Exactly. Basically what I took like around 15 minutes to say, you said it in like one sentence, Frank.
So, no, but you said that's very good. The protocol and the currency, that thing is very good. So nice. So I think that Vitalik, they are already focusing on that. I think that these altcoins, these networks, they will focus more on the token thing. There will be like more networks to transfer value of other thing, not actually the protocol token like Ethereum or Tron, but actually to put more assets inside, tokenized assets, and they are going to focus that. But still, the properties of scarcity, of knowing 100% sure that this is going to be like this in the next 30 years and no one can say or do anything, that's the main value of Bitcoin, really.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
10 years. 10
Exactly,
years already
man.
doing that. So it's a very interesting talk because the problem in the crypto community, I think, is that people, it's very it's a hooligan. You know, you can be you can also be a Bitcoin maximalist and trust that the thing that you said, that Bitcoin is always going to be the king for that reason, but still it's not needed to trash people, you know, to trash other projects because they are trying to do
Exactly.
obviously illicit projects.
Exactly.
I mean,
Yeah.
not the other ones.
They all have their own goals, right? They all have their own goals, and I trust. I got to give credit to Vitalik and team for what their goals are. They're sticking to their goals. They don't really care about pumping Ethereum to oblivion. They care about solving the problems that they sought out to solve. They don't want to be Bitcoin. They want to be the world computer, and they are trying to work on their protocol to allow for that. Right, so all of their issuance problems, all of their inflation problems, is all centering around how they can make the best world computer.
Yep.
And that's good for them. But so I have to ask you, Frank, what is your opinion? Because everybody's asking the big question, two or three words. When Altcoin?
My opinion is exactly the same. I see Ethereum as a potential Visa, and I see Bitcoin as a potential gold, and that's it. It's a business.
Yeah.
It's a network. A network with fees, more value to the network, versus the other thing, the revolution you told us. It's perfectly resumed.
Do you agree that Bitcoin will have and always actually has had more value than gold?
More value than gold in the next 30 years, I would say yeah, in the next 30 years. Not in the 10 years, but 30. If Bitcoin exists in 30 years, I'm sure it will have more value than gold, because gold at the end is just that thing that it was trusted historically, but nowadays, I mean, people doesn't even have the physical gold. They also have to trust the issuer that it's a financial institution, and so yeah, I think it's gonna have more value if it still exists, but I think it's going to exist anyway.
The properties that threw gold off the radar, that threw gold off the radar on the global scene, do not exist in Bitcoin. If you look at the baby boomers and even the Gen X, you'll see that most of them were buying gold. Like at least even over here in my home country, gold was a big attraction. Was a big attraction. Now the thing is, there are, again, so many confluencing factors coming in to make people value Bitcoin more. One, millennials don't care about physical assets. We are a very, very digitally oriented force. And keep in mind, the millennial cohort is the largest generation to have ever existed. There's around 92 million millennials. No other cohort has even come closer number. I think the boomers peaked out around 79 million or something like that. So we are one of the largest generations to have ever existed, and we are digital. Now, what made gold so unattractive to all of these countries? They did not want to be pegged to an asset that another country can just simply mine very secretly, and then flood the market with it, destroying their country. So Russia or China were mining gold in some secret land. Bam, right?
Talking about that, did you
lose
hear
your value as a currency?
Yes, sorry. Did you hear about the how do you say that, the special mining? No, the mining from the space, from the asteroids. Can you imagine that? Imagine that someone catches a rock full of gold and starts dumping it to the market.
It's done, right?
Yeah. Yep. It's done.
Yeah, Bitcoin does not have that problem, right? All these things come into play, and now what? Bitcoin's our biggest problem as a generation, not just us, but this entire generation, the boomers, the Gen X, is we tend to look at the world through whatever's happened in the last 50 years, let alone we don't even look at the last 100 years, right? But fiat currencies have historically completely just failed. Just completely failed historically. If you look at 200, 300, 400, 500 years ago. Now, we have this faith. In fiat. Why? Because we grew up in that small period where fiat tends to do well before it fails. Now, yes, fiat may continue to do well while we are alive, but in 100 years, I highly doubt most fiat currencies that exist today will still be in existence, right? It's hard for us to fathom that, but our grandchildren and their children are going to be living in a completely different world. And by the way, that's when Bitcoin is going to be reaching its climax. We are thinking about Bitcoin today. Bitcoin is at its infancy. Bitcoin's a goddamn baby right now, right? In 2150 is when Bitcoin is having its last Bitcoin being mined. That's 2150, right? Frank, I'm not sure. I think it's 2001.
Like that,
yeah. So think about that. We are so tunnel vision on what's happening right now. This is a revolution that is going to be taking place over 200, 300 years, because this sort of thing happens once every 500 to 1,000 years, a monetary revolution of the scale. So we may be wrong about the price action and what may happen in the next 10, 20 years, but that's minuscule. That's minuscule as to what is to come, right? What is to come. So we have to really separate the fundamentals from the price action that way, because things could go very bad temporarily. And that's why I decided to educate myself on technical analysis very, very deeply to protect myself.
I agree with you, man. I agree on everything. It's not.
Nice.
It's not to. It's no. It's not to. So, it's not to. How do you say that in English? It's not to. I don't know. I agree
just
with
for the sake of it.
Okay. Okay. So do you wanna comment?
What are your thoughts on altcoins? I have to ask you. What are your thoughts on altcoins right now?
My thoughts on altcoins is that
that's the question I'm going to get.
Well, the thing is that we should start to differentiate two kind of altcoins. I mean, Ethereum, Ripple, Radix that is coming. These, for me, are legit, not altcoins, but actually crypto networks that try to solve that kind of thing. Tokenize things, put those tokens in those networks and transact, and from those fees give value to that network. These, for me, are like network tokens or something like that. Other sides about that, then we could say that utility tokens that are constructed in the good way and have real value behind, real business that is making money, just like Binance Coin. For me, those are legit too. But all the other ones, for me, are just speculative elements, shitcoins, let's say. And they also have a function, and the function is to bring more people to the crypto sector with pumps. But that's it. From the shitcoins, I don't expect anything on the long run. I expect that every 2-3 years a new kind of shitcoins will appear and will flood the market and will pump and dump and keep the cycle going. This always happens. Not only in crypto. I mean, there was a bubble in cannabis stocks last year, so it happens frequently. It's not just crypto. That's my view.
So do you think we're going to have an altcoin boom anytime soon?
Not anytime soon. I think that we are going to, later this year, I think we're going to start the engines again. Big caps, I think Ethereum, looking for Casper 2020, it's going to start, just to start. And as we approach to the halving and Bitcoin, I guess will go to all-time high, to 20K. As we approach these figures, I think that the altcoin market and the shitcoin market will also start to heat up. But the peak, I don't expect the peak anyway this year or even next year. I think that the peak will come in 2021 or so. Just like it happened in the halving, in the past halving in 2016, altcoins didn't do very much, just Ethereum, and that's it, nothing else. Exactly. I'm glad you mentioned that. I do want to pull up this chart over here quickly, and I want to show this here. As you can see, right, this area over here that we've recently broken past, right? We can go ahead and just put a blue box right here. Actually, this entire zone was a really, really key zone for the altcoin. This is a good thing and a bad thing, but I think I would lean more in terms of this being a good thing. So this zone over here, ever since we broke the zone in the last market cycle, that's when we had a huge run. Like this was entire big parabolic run, but breaking this was key because it had another big leg up, right? Now we came down, we broke that, had a huge accumulation.
And now again, we broke it, right? Now in the most recent Bitcoin dump, altcoins also took a dump. But as you can see, they held this key level over here. And that was really interesting for me. You can see that we dipped underneath, but it was bought back. This was bought back very, very quickly, and we held above it. And right now, we are holding above it, which is interesting. Because if you go on over the Bitcoin dominance chart and you look at the daily on the Bitcoin dominance, down this is the Bitcoin dominance, guys, you can see that this trend line, the pink line, was very, very pivotal, because once we broke that to the upside, this was the trap that put us in around the 14K zone in Bitcoin, got a lot of altcoins dumped, and now we've broken that back to the downside. You can see this. So this is going to be pivotal, because what this means is that even though Bitcoin is dumping, altcoins are holding their own, right? They're not breaking past key levels. So the posturing for the months to come, okay, I really want to be clear on this, because this altcoin chart here is the weekly chart. This is the weekly chart. So this is going to take some time before it matures. And it's not until we break this line over here. Let's go ahead and change this color to blue as well.
Is super
this thick line over here.
It's the key, this line.
Yes, exactly.
This line.
Yep. Exactly.
And it doesn't seem to be broken.
Nobody should be getting too excited.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Nobody should be getting too excited until that line is broken, right? Then we can start getting excited. Again, I may be sounding very, very bullish on Bitcoin, and I am, but it's not like I don't want to make money on altcoins. I do, just as much as everybody else. I want to, but the time needs to be right.
Totally. Which is that chart? This chart is tremendous. Where do you get that? Crypto total market cap exclude Bitcoin. Okay, yeah. That's a very interesting chart.
You can just you can type.
It looks tremendous.
Total too on trading. Yeah. So you can see, I want to point out something. As you can see, in the last cycle, we had similar price action. Where was it? 2004. Here. This zone over here. Let's go ahead and mark this out over here. Where's my pen? This zone over here. I want you guys to look at this. How we kind of trickled into the 21 EMA, okay, on the weekly, broke it, didn't really give any decisive price action until we had that break to the upside, this zone over here. Now we can go over here and we can see that we're doing something very similar. We're trickling around it, right? It's not until we break past this. What we want now is for us to do something like this. Okay. Yes, guys, I know you guys want to buy the bottoms. I know you guys want to be able to catch every meat of it, but I'd rather you guys be safe and catch only the middle of it, or at least the middle to the top, rather than getting dumped on in this zone constantly over here, right? There's a big opportunity cost if you guys try and catch the bottom of the altcoin market. I'm sure Frank advise you guys on that.
But I think that even this bottom,
so that's my thoughts.
I think that even this bottom will be produced more by Bitcoin rising than by altcoins rising for themselves. You see that range? I think that range will be actually produced because Bitcoin will go up to in the late year than for altcoins to be growing for themselves, you know. So looking at that chart,
no, I agree with you.
Looking at that chart, it looks clear that will have a sideways for at least half a year or something like that. So it's not very worth to invest in altcoins right now.
Exactly. Yeah. It's better to put your attention into other things, even just studying the markets and learning, rather than to have there's huge opportunity cost in just having your money in an asset and having to manage it, right? So people need to think about that too, worrying about your asset all the time. I do want to mention something, and what people fail to realize is that when we had the big altcoin rally over here, it was after new money started entering into the market at the later end of the cycle and flooding into altcoins. Recently, we've not been seeing new money enter altcoin markets. The altcoin market, we're seeing money being shuffled between Bitcoin and altcoins. That's not what we want to see as crypto hodlers, right? We want to see fresh money come in. The fresh money is not going into altcoins, guys. In my opinion, at least, the fresh money is going into Bitcoin, and it's holding there. They're keeping it there. That's my thoughts, at least, Frank.
Yes, I agree. We agree with everything, man. But that's it. I agree, man. And I'm thinking that we're going to be right about this. It's very clear. You just have to look at the Ripple chart. It's also a good indicator about what's happening. And after that drop to 30 cents again, Ripple, for me, it was very clear that, okay, altcoins, keep it like with USD, Ripple USD, it was It was tremendous. Ripple USD.
Yeah. This was ugly too, though, man.
If you look at the USD, it's pretty clear what's gonna happen and what they have planned. So after trying to break that that 0.5, okay, said okay, no, not gonna happen now. This is like a rock. It can be like 1 year more. Ripple being that way, between 30 and 50 cents.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. We could literally be doing something like this.
Just like Litecoin, do it in the whole past cycle. It was, if I remember good, it was between $3 and $5 until it break the 5 or something like that, and then it boom. Yeah, that's it. The rock. They call it. It was like 2 years like this. Even with Bitcoin climbing, it was like 2 years like this. The rock, the Litecoin rock, and then boom, explosion.
Yeah, that was nuts.
Yep.
That's the thing, right? Altcoins, they don't trade, they pump. That's what I say.
Yep. Yep. Hello? Shawn? Shawn? Oh, it seems that we lost Shawn. Shawn, can you hear me? Yeah?
Hello? Am I still on?
Yes, can you hear me? I can hear you.
Yeah,
now.
I can hear you now. I just went quiet for a bit.
Okay. Yeah, so
I can hear you now. I can hear you. Cool.
So what were you saying about Litecoin?
So yeah, we were just talking about altcoins.
Yeah.
I was just saying that just like every other altcoin, right? You don't need to catch the bottom when the pump just does start. You can get in later. You can get in later and be sure that you're buying is going to go up.
Yeah.
Rather than you get dumped on. And right now, like you said, when you go back to the total 2 market cap, that key line, it's very, very simple for everybody right now. We just have to wait for this key line to be broken. Okay. Once the market gives us this indication, we can be a little bit more confident in taking bigger positions in our altcoins.
Yeah. So pretty clear.
I think you're cracking up, Frank. I'm not sure if I can.
No. Pretty
can
clear.
Hear me? Okay.
We have to keep trading Bitcoin for now. Just trying to catch those dips. What do you think is gonna happen in the short term, Bitcoin? Let's end with that. Bitcoin short term. Do you think it's gonna get to 8.5?
Okay. Cool. Let's go. So there's Bitcoin is not going to make it easy, and what I want people to keep an eye on. Instead of looking at the Bitcoin chart, right? The CME futures, we can go ahead and look at the daily. I know a lot of people are looking at this, but they're looking at this for the wrong reasons. So I'm not sure if you are aware of this. This is the futures chart, Frank, and we have a gap over here that everybody is looking at for this to get filled.
Yes.
Now, the reason I want us to be looking at this is not for the gap, because that's stupid. The posturing on the CME chart has been a lot more accurate in Bitcoin's direction than the actual spot charts. Now, that could be for multiple reasons. I don't want to get into that right now, but the CME charts have a more bearish posturing. As you can see, very recently, we've been putting in this descending triangle, and the most recent pump that we had did get a massive rejection over there. So you're seeing selling coming in now, and this has a more probable move towards the downside, and its measured move of this triangle is around 8,200, 8,400, right?
Yes.
Now that fills the gap that everybody's talking about, and as you can see, every time Bitcoin has had a bullish posturing on CMEs, we've gone ahead and had a nice pump, and the key thing is CMEs have held the 21 EMA very, very well. Us giving it up now is not a good sign. Now, one of two things is happening. This could be one massive trap where they are accumulating and we pump over again, or we are headed down. Now, everybody's eyes is on 8,500, which is CMEs, but because the CMEs is trading at a premium, it would match up to around 8,200 on spot charts. So Coinbase, right? So that lines up with my green box territory over here, 8,600 to 8,200. Now, what I was telling the Mango community is that expect expect something different. Because one of two things is going to happen. Either we get front run and we don't reach the green box, okay, screwing everybody out of the market and on fiat, or number two, we push way past it, liquidating all the over leveraged margin traders who think they're geniuses because, hey, CME gap fill, it's going to come in there and it's going to bounce and we're going to have a massive run after that. Okay, that's what a lot of the market movers are going to be targeting, those geniuses, and they will get liquidated if they are over-positioned and we go all the way down. Now, where's the most obvious position for us to go down if we do go down? You can look at key horizontal levels, or you can go ahead and look at the weekly, and you can see there's some really obvious areas, and that's this zone over here. We have a wick here, we have these candles over here, we have these candles over here, we have this zone over here, and then we have this zone over here. This is the key area. Now, because I'm looking at the weekly time frame, it is very likely that we could come test the 21 EMA on the weekly chart and wick into this zone over here that I just talked about, 7,300 to 7,200. We could wick into that and close above into the green box territory. So everybody could still be right, Frank, about their bounce, but they could still get liquidated, right? So being early on your trade could still get you massively in a losing position. And I want to talk about this 21 EMA too, because it is very key in Bitcoin's market cycle history. Going back to our BLX chart, you can see that the 21 EMA on the weekly has actually underlined price action throughout the market cycle, lining up to this purple trend line over here. After losing it over here, it pretty much started the bear cycle, and now as you can see, it's lining up again with this purple and pink line territory, right? So we could very well come down here. Everyone's expecting this too, I'm pretty sure. But wicking past that would liquidate a lot of smart ass traders who think that price is going to stop here. If you go back in history, we've had wicks past it before. Look at this right here. We wick past it, tested the purple line, and closed above. This was massive. Think about the amount of heartache that you saw over here, guys. So just be careful is what I'm trying to say. Be careful.
Don't leverage more than it's necessary.
This is the very shaky zone for Bitcoin, which is why I'm not in any trend trade right now. I've been telling my community this is not... Exactly. So just be careful. When the real trend trade will come, when Bitcoin is ready to either one, bounce off this territory and start moving up, or we trap everybody by not going down and then break past this blue box over here. That's the one of two scenarios. Again, I never have any this will happen for sure. I have a scenario where if this, then that. However, if not this, then this instead. That's how I play it. That's how I trade safely.
Don't you see you don't see the possibility of going even past 7.2 to 6 to 6K or something like that? Don't you see that possibility? I don't see personally. I don't see it. As it is going, I don't see it right now. There's one. I don't either. But I try to look at every possible scenario, and there's one bullish scenario that still holds for 6,000 to be true. I haven't talked about this, but we can go ahead and talk about it right now. We'll pull up BLX again, and we'll pull up the monthly. Okay, and the monthly is actually pretty important because I took my big trade. I'm not sure if you've been following Frank on Mango, but we took a big trade on the monthly chart, right? When we broke the green 55 over here, I took my big trend trade, and then we had a big move towards the upside. So the monthly chart has some significance. And if you go ahead and turn off your horizontals, you can see that Bitcoin does come and test its monthly, not quite, but it does have a tendency to come near there, right? What's the monthly 21 EMA coming in at right now? 6,361. Okay, we also do have a key level over here at 6,200, 6,400, right? So we could come, okay, technically through a market cycle perspective, we could actually come all the way down to 6,500, okay, on a monthly perspective, bounce there, and things would still be fine. Now, that would mean for the weekly to hold true and stay bullish that we have a massive wick, okay, a massive wick down to the green 55-ish on the weekly and then bounce. So it's unlikely, but the scenario that would make that more likely is if we go sideways and this ticks a little bit higher and we come like somewhere like this, right? And then we would be sitting at, again, 7.5K on the monthly, the 21. So we have to leave possibility for that, but I don't think so. Very unlikely. Yeah, agree with that too.
Yeah.
So
if we start closing weekly candles underneath 7,000, that would be very bad things for Bitcoin for the short term, mid-term.
Yeah.
We don't want to.
For me, that formation, that quick retrace when it achieved at 8K, that quick retrace to 7K, and then again boom up. For me, that's a clear sign that in that zone, it's not gonna stay for so long. I think that the big buy zones are between 8 and 8.5K. That's my
completely agree with you.
And
100%.
And it all coincides with
and that's going to be a massive indication that this bull cycle is just starting, and that we are going to see big numbers like 50,000. I think if that happens, we are likely going to see 50,000 minimum.
Yeah, much probably. So it's looking nice, man. I hope that you have funds invested on that. Because do you think we are going to be rich, Shawn, in 5 years? All the ones that are in the Mango community, Bitkings community,
in
all
5
the
years?
ones that are investing now, what do you think?
I think if you're holding even a little bit of Bitcoin, in 10 years, you're going to be very, very rich. The numbers I have in mind for Bitcoin are very, very ridiculous, but I think it is a possibility. So I think it is rather foolish to not have at least a little bit of Bitcoin on your hands. So our goal in the Mango community is to make all of this stuff that seems so complicated, easy. Okay, my goal is one of two things: to protect the community from making the same mistakes I did, okay, while also helping them get to a level of freedom. Okay, it's not about making them rich, but more about getting them to freedom away from all the corporate bullshit that Gen X and the baby boomers forced down upon us while milking all the wealth away from our society. So that's my goal for the Mango community.
Don't you look at it, Shawn, as a kind of revenge? Because I mean, our father's generation make us to buy all these overpriced real estate things, and we're going to make them buy the overpriced Bitcoin. You know. When Bitcoin hits the 200K, then okay, we're going to buy the real estate. So so that's it. I look it a bit like this, you know.
No, I look at it exactly like that. To me, this is going to be one of the most massive wealth transfers that the world has ever seen. Okay.
Yes.
Everything that they stole from us, right, without even knowing that they did it. You know, they're so freaking entitled. They call us entitled while they own 3 or 4 houses and then go and rent it out, making even rent more expensive. Freaking guys. Anyways, this is going to be our revenge. This is our revenge. Yes, I completely agree.
Okay, Shawn, we have to close. It was a very nice conversation. I hope that we can do more like this, like just one a month or
man.
Two. It's very nice. We can talk about different topics, even invite other interesting people that I'm sure that there is in the community. So I like it.
For sure.
I like it, man.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun, man. I don't usually get to talk about these things. But getting to talk about it with you was really good.
We're going to repeat it, man.
Yeah, let's do it again, man. Let's do it once a month. I like the idea. Once a month minimum.
Man. Once a month, Shawn session. We have to make a name for that. Mango session.
Mango, Bitmango,
man.
The Bitmango. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So that's it, guys.
It was fun, Frank. I'll see you,
See you, man. So that's it, guys. We have a very interesting conversation with Shawn. I hope that you enjoyed the video. Also, guys, don't forget that we still have the article promotion there. Just go there, create your article, your report, your everything about crypto, and you're going to receive $10 worth BTK too. See you there. Bye.